The Buffalo Bills just made two key additions before the playoff wildcard game. We're going to break those down. But Bills Mafia, I got some good ones for you today. I'm excited to break this down. My name is Collin. This is Crack the Table. We're all Bills, no breaks, breaking down Buffalo Bills content every single day. Before we get into the two signings, we signed a kicker and we signed a defensive back to our practice squad that's been around a little bit. But I want to share this with you. Check out this right here with me on the screen. The Buffalo Bills have the highest win percentage, the most games won in the last 5 seasons. Yesterday, I made a point on the show. If you haven't watched it already, I made a point that the Bills are a winning program. And I know they've struggled here and there in the playoffs. However, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not a team that is ready to go into a deep playoff run. They've got a rookie head coach. They've got a team that's literally been bottom 5 in the AFC in total win percentage over the last 5 years. And yes, we know whatever, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, they beat us in a playoff game. They beat us 20 years ago, but it ends right here. I am so excited for this week. But here's a couple other things. Check this out right here on the screen. Some stats again before I get into these these signings here is the Rams, the Bills, and the Chicago Bears are playing. Their offensive lines are playing at an elite level. In the last 30 years, they are playing the Bills offensive line as a top 3 offensive line when it comes to run yards added or adjusted line yards on offense. In other words, they are creating so many opportunities for James Cook to be as efficient as he has been. We know that James Cook just won the rushing title. Props to him. We love the accolades, but we're not looking for a rushing title. We're not looking for another MVP run from Josh Allen. We are looking for the Super Bowl, Bills Mafia, and the Buffalo Bills offense, not just a single player, but an entire unit has been incredible. 5.29 yards per play here given for the line. Top 3 unit in the last 30 years. One of the narratives right now for the Jaguars game is that the Buffalo Bills are going to really struggle to run the ball against them. Why, Collin? Well, when you look at the screen right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars are allowing a league leading only 85.6 yards per game. The last 3 games, it's been lower than that at 82 yards per game. This rush defense, NFL opponent rushing yards per game is elite. It's very good. However, Dan Mitchell pointed this out today, which is very important. Context is very important. The yards allowed, again, the Jacksonville Jaguars are number 1. However, the attempts against them are 32nd. Why is that? Because other parts of their defense are not as strong as their rush defense. And so teams ask themselves the question, should we run the ball against a good rush defense, or should we throw the ball to our tight ends and our receivers? That being said, they're not that good of a rush defense when you actually look at the context. But in all that being said, we got some kicker here that we just signed today that we're going to break down. But again, before we get into that, I am just absolutely stoked about this team. Again, looking at this is a team that has won consistently in the regular season. Sean McDermott is going to have this team ready to go in and play the game that they need to play on Sunday. A lot of people are worried about this matchup. I am not worried about this matchup at all. We are absolutely going to roll against this team. And we just got the key addition of a kicker, which we needed. We signed kicker Matthew Wright. And again, we know we're playoff bound. We know, we had some issues with Prater. We had some issues with Badgley and even Tyler Bass this year. So we've had this carousel of kickers. However, today we signed a kicker who has been actually pretty good. He's been on a lot of teams. Sal tweeted this out a little bit. We've had a lot of kickers, but this is a really important stat here. He was 45 of 46 on extra points in his career, already better than Badgley, which includes 20 different stints, right? From the NFL and beyond of different teams over the last little bit. So he's been around, right? Been at Pittsburgh Steelers, Jacksonville, Kansas City. He was actually with the Jaguars when they beat us at one point. Carolina, San Francisco, Tennessee Titans, Commanders, and Houston Texans. But here's maybe just some stats about him. He is 20 of 21 on field goals and 10 of 10 in extra points over the last 2 seasons. That sounds like a resume that gets me excited going into this game against the Jaguars. Again, he's played 33 games, including four in his last year or so. But here's the thing, his field goals overall in his career, he is 60 of 68. So he's got almost a 90% completion rate or success rate on his field goals. Not only that, in his entire career, he has only missed 2 extra points. His longest field goal is 59 yards. He's been pretty good as a place kicker with kickoffs and taking advantage of giving his team good yardage positions around the 20 or 25-yard line, which is, it seems okay, but it's not in the 30 or the 35. It's okay. But his strength lies ultimately in his consistency as a place kicker. 85 plus percent average for kicks, 40 to 49 yards. That's better than Badgley. It's right up there with Prater. It's going to be a really good addition. And we know that we might not have Prater back even for the following week. So getting a guy in the amidst the quad injury for Prater is absolutely essential. Again, Prater's 41 years old. He's been effective as a field goal kicker, but right now we do not want Michael Badgley in there kicking the ball. So we got Matthew right here coming in, excited about that in a playoff scenario when things are getting tight, in a playoff scenario when we're frankly have our backs against the wall. This is the perfect kind of signing that we needed. But further, we signed Daryl Porter Jr. to the practice squad. Again, he was with our team a little bit this summer, but this is a guy here who's entering his second NFL season after going undrafted in 2025. And this move is totally correlated with the Maxwell Harrison thing. We need more depth in our cornerback room. So having a guy who's already been with the Bills briefly this last summer should be incredibly helpful. Just his career was at WVU, but also at Miami, 108 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, about 20 passes defended, and about 10 in his last 2 seasons, 1 interception, and really just good man coverage skills. He's not your prototypical zone cover corner, but he's a guy who actually has had a decent career in college. But not only has he had a decent career in college, when he was at the Steelers, he got to go against good wide receivers like guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown with the Lions down there. And you know what? His pro experience is minimal, but again, his athletic profile, his quick feet, his physical jams at the line really allow him to play good man coverage, which fits the need right now that the Buffalo Bills have on the depth on the back end. Again, he didn't have an incredible grade when he has had snaps in the NFL. He's got really no major stats recorded in the NFL and really only like a 60 coverage grade. But when we're looking at what's available, who we could bring in, we really needed a guy who had some familiarity with the Buffalo Bills, which he does, but also he's a guy who could come in and give maybe a couple plays here or there if we really need him. We'll see if we even bring him up from the practice squad. I'm not sure we will. But again, when we're looking down the stretch of the AFC playoff journey that we have in front of us, this is going to be a player who could come in and offer a level of physicality to our defense, especially in the run game, but also maybe man coverage. If it really does come down to it, if we have any more injuries to Trey White or Benford or anybody else. But again, with this kind of defensive philosophy, this zone defensive philosophy for Sean McDermott, I would be really surprised if we saw extended snaps out of this guy, but a low cost potential ad who could give us a little bit of athletic ability on the back end later on in this season. So, we've got our nickel corners all set in Tehran and Cam Lewis, but when we look at the depth of our outside corners right now, we are very thin, especially with the Ingram issues, especially with the Slay issues, and having now Maxwell Harrison out for who knows how long, hopefully 2 weeks at most. But in all of it, we cannot afford having a weaker pass defense on the backside. And this guy is an added, quick, bolstered addition to the practice squad. We'll see if he comes in at all for a playoff game on the active roster. But in all of it, guys, again, I am so pumped. I'm locking in on this stat right here. The Buffalo Bills are the most winning team in the last 5 years, and the Jaguars are bottom five in the AFC. What does that tell you about the playoff experience, the culture with a rookie Liam Cohen head coach? That has got me really excited for this playoff matchup against the Jaguars. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to go out there and show really the entire NFL that they're not playing around. We've had a couple of games this year that we've let down. The Falcons game, right? The Houston Texans game, the Miami game, rough games. The Patriots game, man, that loss earlier, that was a toss up to me. But those other three games, those were flukes. This is a team that is going to go in and they're going to win. They've been tightening up things on the defense, on the line the last couple weeks. Deion Walker got a game rest. He got his own bye week. That man is going to get after the quarterback this upcoming week, and he is going to stop the run. I'm pumped about it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about what you're excited for about this game. In all of it, I'm jazzed. I'm pumped. I cannot wait for this playoff game. See you later. God bless. Go Bills.